这辈子没打算活太久。
China is facing a devastating jobs crisis, with bankruptcies, layoffs, and unemployment spreading like wildfire through its biggest cities. Countless workers are trapped in record-low wages, and more women are forced to take on food delivery work just to survive. Today, we invite you to dive deeper into this harsh reality. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are witnessing in China is nothing short of shocking. Millions are being pushed into poverty by collapsing wages and brutal working conditions. Some even say the economy has turned back the clock by 60 years, where countless jobs now pay just a few yuan an hour. How did this happen? Why has China's workforce been dragged so far backward, as if time itself has reversed? This isn't America. This isn't Africa. This is Longhua Bus Station in Shenzhen. On the cold ground lie exhausted workers, beaten down by despair. They work one day, then sit idle for 3, because there are simply no jobs left. Their meals are the cheapest scraps of food, their drinks only tap water. No mortgages, no car loans, no future. The sky is their roof, the pavement their bed. Homeless, hopeless, and with no choices left, they drift through each day in the wreckage of China's collapsing economy. I'm drained and surrounded by people who feel the same. They tell me to stay positive, but without money, our dreams die. Talking only makes the pain worse. I feel like a failure, stuck and helpless. And let me be clear, if this continues, the country has no future. We are sliding backwards. Ordinary people, the poor and the desperate, can barely survive. Brick-and-mortar shops are disappearing. Entrepreneurs are collapsing under debt, and even college graduates are forced to deliver takeout, often running into trouble just to scrape by. I might be the most unfortunate millionaire in China and one of its most broken entrepreneurs. I've been building businesses my whole life, and yet here I am, a punchline. Just 5 years ago, I was worth tens of millions, hailed as a rising legend. Then overnight, everything collapsed. My capital chain broke, my company went bankrupt, and I was left drowning in 20 million yuan of debt. Across today's China, more and more people are suffocating under the same weight of despair. Unemployment is sweeping through major cities, leaving people jobless for months. Even industries that once offered hundreds of thousands in monthly pay are now shrinking. Those lucky enough to have work often carry the workload of 3 people, under unbearable pressure. Over 200 million Chinese are jobless, trapped in an endless recession. Countless women are forced into food delivery just to survive, because there are no other jobs left. Here in Shanghai, the pressure is crushing. Just this morning, I spoke with someone who's been unemployed for 4 months straight, still unable to land a job. Roles that once paid 80,000 to 100,000 yuan a month are now almost impossible to find, even for $20,000. Yesterday, I hailed a Didi ride. The driver from Hunan moved here just to make ends meet, but he didn't know the roads well, got constant complaints, and earned only a few thousand yuan a month, barely enough to cover rent, bills, and endless fines. He told me he'd head to Chengdu next month to try his luck. That's the kind of desperation people are living in now. I don't encourage anyone to leave China, because life abroad is tough too, but staying here feels unbearable. And when you lose your job, your income vanishes, but your debts don't. Defaults are everywhere. Mortgage defaults are exploding. Layoffs, salary cuts, collapsing housing prices. All of it is eroding the bank's stability. Shanghai's unemployment has become a trending topic, especially after the 2,000 layoffs from the Shanghai metro. Imagine that, the metro, once a stable giant, now cutting thousands. Then there's the Shanghai factory that shut its doors overnight, throwing 10,000 workers into the streets. Even Pegatron technology, once a symbol of strength, has gone dark in Shanghai. Meanwhile, commercial areas are emptying out, stores are shuttered, old buildings demolished. Beneath the city's glittering skyline lies a hollowed-out shell. Recently, a vlogger filming in Shanghai captured this collapse firsthand. He stumbled upon the North Bund, right in the heart of the city, and found it eerily deserted. His video shows massive malls, once bustling with life, now nearly silent. Gyms and yoga studios still kept their lights on, but only a handful of people wandered inside. Hair salons were shuttered. On the B1 floor, decorated with luxury finishes, corridors sat empty except for a few delivery riders. At 6 p.m., normally the evening rush, juice and drink shops had 0 customers. North Bund covers around 4 square kilometers within Shanghai's inner ring, next to the iconic Oriental Pearl Tower. Yet all he saw were lifeless streets and rows of closed stores. The video also revealed entire areas around Baoding Road, Chengyang Road, and Huoshan Park marked for demolition. Old homes stood abandoned, residents long relocated. Delivery drivers and a few pedestrians moved quietly through empty streets, a haunting contrast to the once vibrant North Bund, only a short walk away. The vlogger even pointed out plans for new luxury villas in the area, but said bluntly, if these villas are built, only the ultra-rich or corporate giants will ever move in. For ordinary people, the city is closing its doors. Far away in Xinjiang, migrant workers live in harsh conditions. Their home is a 500 yuan room with no air conditioning, no water heater, just 4 walls. One worker said, ordinary people live like this. The rich eat meat, the poor drink soup. I wake up at 3:30 a.m. If I'm late, there's no work. Wages are 150, 140, sometimes only 70 yuan a day. No car, no savings, just survival. Most of these workers are in their 50s or 60s, carrying food from home, sometimes lucky to get 1 free meal at a site. After paying rent and food, they're left with almost nothing. One sighed. At the end of the month, I have 100 yuan left. I'm not living. I'm just buying time, earning a little hope. But even in the cities, life isn't better. Many workers say those who stayed in their jobs are worse off than the ones who were laid off. Employees quit without even asking for severance because the workplace itself feels suffocating. One compared it to a courtroom. Every report feels like a trial, every mistake like an execution. As business collapses, bosses lash out, finding excuses to fire staff, piling the workload of 3 people onto one, calling at midnight, stealing weekends and holidays. Even bathroom breaks are policed. Salaries are cut through endless assessments, draining workers dry. Companies don't care if you leave. There's always someone desperate enough to take your place for less. And for those who stay, the fear of the future looms. Paying into Social Security feels meaningless. We can't even afford today. How can we plan for retirement? If we leave a job after 6 months, those contributions are wasted. If we can't find work at 35, how can we at 40? Meanwhile, rising prices crush even the basics. The so-called poor man's 3 essentials, instant noodles, cola, pickled mustard, are slipping away. One worker complained, a Master Kong noodle bucket costs 6 yin now, the small one 4.5 or even 5. I wanted the big one, but I couldn't afford it. Instant noodles, something we relied on, are becoming a luxury. Master Kong, do you know how much you mean to ordinary people? Do you really need to squeeze us this hard? Leave something for the poor. Life's expenses are like an invisible net, wrapping tighter every day. Electricity, water, parking, internet, TV. Everything has a price. Add to that phone bills, property fees, medical costs, children's tuition, and heating bills up north. The moment you open your eyes, money is already flowing out. Earning is constipation, slow, painful. Spending is diarrhea. You can't hold it back. Your salary is like a period. Comes once a month, gone in a few days. So please stop talking about average wages. What's the point of that number? The rich don't share their income with us, so why should we share their average? For ordinary people, being debt-free is already a dream. Honestly, if air had a price, half of us wouldn't survive. Even dying costs money, cremation fees, funeral fees, cemetery plots. And then there's debt. One worker said, "Friends, you won't believe me. I borrowed 200,000 yuan, and in just a year, the interest almost caught up with the principal. That's the real horror of online loans. Earning 5,000 or 6,000 yuan a month. In 2 years, you can be completely ruined. The scariest part isn't even the high rates, it's the traps. Apps designed like webs, waiting for you to click. Late at night, scrolling your phone, you want a new one. Suddenly, an ad promises instant cash, no collateral. One tap, and you've stepped into hell. At first, it feels harmless. Just 1,000 yuan repayment a month. Then comes the next urge, the next loan, another 20,000 urd. Soon, 3,000 yuan repayment each month. It feels easy, addictive, until one day you realize you owe more than 100,000 yen. No wonder so many young people now dream of going abroad. 10 years ago, they went overseas to make money, then came back to save and build. Today, they go for citizenship and never plan to return. They're tired of endless competition, afraid their children will repeat their suffering. This state of national debt and depression leaves no way out for us, brothers. Society deteriorates when good people can't make money. Good people deteriorate when they aren't treated fairly. The imbalance begins when good people aren't rewarded and bad people aren't punished. When good people are treated unfairly, while the bad are tolerated and indulged excessively, the good lose confidence and the bad grow even more arrogant.